Time to pull up a chair. We've got another great story for you today in the rLounge. Why communicate like adults when you can behave like children? Today in the rLounge, a mother-in-law requests a special meal. She receives one. It has fries. Up first, dark justice is served, and it comes with a toy. My mother-in-law demanded a special meal at our wedding, so I gave her a McDonald's Happy Meal. If you want a good petty read, I think you're going to like this one. Also, I'm sorry it's so long. Also, English is not my first language, so I'm sorry if something doesn't make sense. My mother-in-law, let's call her Karen, is a bit of a controlling, entitled biatch who adores attention. You know, the kind that always needs to be involved in everything, and when she's not, or when you don't pay attention to her, she throws a tantrum. My father-in-law divorced her when my husband, let's call him Derek, was 10. Derek and his mom were never close, but we still told her about our engagement. Told her she would be invited to the wedding. Big mistake. When we told her, she was super excited and called us crying, saying that she's excited to help us plan our big day and to finally be a part of Derek's life. I guess this was sweet, but we never wanted her involved in our wedding planning or anything like that. Anyway, during the wedding planning, she kept putting her nose into every single bit of the process. Like one day, she demanded me to send her a picture of me in my wedding dress as soon as I bought it so she could wear something that matched the vibe to look her best next to me in pictures. When she found out that the wedding scheme was gonna be, think whimsical fairy princess vibes with all my bridesmaids wearing light pink dresses and a flower crown, she said that she didn't agree with the theme because she liked formal weddings better. She kept doing these things for months. She commented on every detail like she was the bride trying to plan her wedding. Honestly, it seemed like she was trying to plan a wedding for herself instead of just helping us out. The breaking point came when she texted me demanding a special menu for her because she was an important guest. I asked her what she meant, and she said that she didn't think the menu that was being served for everyone else was good enough for her. By the way, we are having a big wedding with around 200 guests and have a large variety of food to fit all dietary restrictions. After that, the stress of having Karen trying to control everything was really getting to me, so I decided to talk to my best friend and maid of honor, let's call her Megan, about it. We have been best friends since we were 12, and she has always been there for me and vice versa. Megan is super fun and a petty queen. She said that since Karen wanted something special and different from everyone else, we should give her a Happy Meal. She said that since she was acting like such a kid trying to get all the attention, it would be perfect for her. After talking to Megan, I called Karen and told her that I was going to request a special meal to be served for her at the wedding, and I could tell she was very pleased. Fast forward to the wedding day. The wedding was absolutely beautiful in every way, and everything went perfectly. When dinner came, all the guests came to the buffet to get their food. However, I had told Karen that the chef would deliver her meal to her table. Let's just say that when Karen saw the meal, her face went through like 10 different emotions. Then she asked the chef, "Is this supposed to be a joke?" The chef told her that she requested a special meal and asked if there was a problem. After some arguing between Karen and the chef, she finally started eating the Happy Meal. I watched her munch on her cheeseburger, fries, and apple slices from my table. I could tell that the other people at her table were trying very hard not to laugh. And not gonna lie, so was I. She seemed so annoyed. After that, I just enjoyed my wedding, which was so much fun and wonderful. Definitely the best night of my life. Also, can you guys tell me if I was too harsh, please? Thank you. Update. Hey everyone. Wow, I did not expect for my post to blow up like this. I wanted to address a few things. My wedding wasn't the best day of my life because I did that to my mother-in-law. It was because I married the love of my life and because I had such a fun and beautiful night with all my friends and loved ones. I do feel bad for doing this to my mother-in-law. I don't know if it was too petty or not. I do kind of feel like an a-hole. My husband gave me permission to do this and thought it was funny. I don't think my mother-in-law really cared because she called my husband and I after our honeymoon congratulating us. She didn't mention the Happy Meal incident or anything. Maybe she was too embarrassed or actually felt sorry for what she did. For those of you saying that this is a fake or AI, I did write a draft and passed it through Grammarly since English is not my first language. I promise you guys this happened, and I know it sounds fake. I still can't believe we did this. Thank you guys so much for your advice, feedback, and your petty, kind, and funny comments. I appreciate every single one of them. Honestly, I don't think you were too harsh at all. Your mother-in-law spent months inserting herself into every part of your wedding, demanding special treatment, and acting like the day was about her. You tried to set boundaries, she ignored them, and she kept escalating. Given all that, the Happy Meal wasn't cruel. It was a lighthearted, harmless way to give her exactly what she asked for. something special, without blowing your budget, your sanity, or your tone of your wedding. And honestly, it sounds like most people at the table understood the humor in it. What do you think? Up next, the turkey decided to take the high road, right out the door with her. Am I the a-hole for leaving Friendsgiving and taking the food I made with me? Okay, so I'm most definitely sure that what I did was petty, but I've come to ask a bunch of strangers for their opinion on whether my pettiness was deserved or not. So to start, I, 29 female, have a group of friends I've been friends with for over a decade. I met these friends through my cousin Jocelyn, 31 female, when we were in high school. Those were her friends she grew up with, but she and I didn't become close until we started working together for my uncle's grocery store. Think small neighborhood bodega. So we were constantly working together, and eventually I started hanging out with her. I was just a sophomore, and they were the cool older kids. Through the years, we all became close, and they became my group of friends too. We regularly get together for parties, dinner outings, etc. Usually, if we do anything that requires a hosting spot, Jocelyn would host all of the events at her house because she has the space for it, more than the rest of us. The group consists of 3 other girls and 2 guys. Every year for the last few years, we always have a Friendsgiving, and every year people tend to bring the same things. I usually make the turkey and maybe a side dish. Now on to where the issue begins. In the group chat, we were discussing dress code and who was bringing what to the event. Some years we would dress up like it was the party of the year. Sometimes we all wore joggers. It would depend on how everyone was feeling. The week of the event, we all decided to wear joggers and keep it comfortable. One of our friends is pregnant, so it's understandable she wants to dress comfortably. We all decided as a group to dress comfy. Come the day of the dinner, I get to the event and everyone is fairly dressed up except me. Apparently, and I found out this from the other guys later, Jocelyn had texted the girls separately and said they should dress up nicely because I always dress nice. For some context, I do take pride in my appearance. There was a time in my life where I was dating someone who was so controlling and abusive that I couldn't even wear what I wanted without him saying something about it. So during that time, I would dress very muted and toned down so as not to cause issues. After he and I split, I finally had the strength to get away. I began experimenting with my personal style, and now I love being able to wear what I want and have a bit of an eccentric style. Anyway, Jocelyn and the girls were texting about how I tend to go overboard when I dress up even casually, because I accessorize and like to do my makeup. And so they assumed I would do too much, and they didn't want to look bad, so they all agreed to dress up. They even texted the guys separately too. Although in the guys' defense, we do have a girls-only group chat that we use sometimes, and we will talk about things, then later relay it to the guys in the big group chat. So it's entirely believable that we could have changed the dress code, and they found out through one of the girls. When we agreed to dressing comfy, I took that literally. I came in joggers and an old t-shirt. I understand that at the end of the day, they're just clothes, but the fact that the girls went behind my back to discuss this without just bringing it up to me hurt a lot. Apparently, it only started because our pregnant friend Maria, 31 female, was talking to Jocelyn about how I make her feel insecure with being able to dress nicely while she is struggling to feel confident due to her weight again. Maria is about 8 months along at this point, but last month we went out for brunch for one of our friend's birthday, and we all agreed to look nice. Maria was unhappy with the dress selections available to her since she's so far along, and that's when she started talking to the other girls about how I tend to do too much in terms of the way I dress. So this led them to assume I would dress up more than the comfy dress code we agreed to. When I found all of this out, I was really hurt and sad, also angry enough that I decided to go home. But I'm kind of petty, and I worked hard on the food I made, so I took it with me and left. Again, I know it's petty to have taken the food. My phone was blowing up when I left. This was almost 4 days ago, and I hadn't talked to any of them since. Some of my friends have tried calling. Maria texted me and told me that I should be understanding and that she just wants to feel comfortable and confident too, but feels like she had to drag me down in order to feel comfortable. One of the guys said I should just be the bigger person and apologize for leaving and taking the food with me, but I still feel betrayed and like they should also apologize to me for not coming to me directly and telling me how they felt. If they really feel like I dress up too much, they could have asked me to tone it down, but at the same time, I feel like I shouldn't have to tone down my personal style that I worked so hard to even get to. It's not like I wear a wedding gown to a night when we're watching movies on the couch. I dress appropriately for whatever we do. I just take a lot of pride in my look, and I make sure I look good, whether that's in jeans and a t-shirt or in a cocktail dress. Anyway, I feel really bad about what I did, but I don't want to say anything until they apologize to me as well. Am I the a-hole for taking the food home with me, though? Thanks in advance for any advice. Update. Hi everyone. Thank you all so much for your support, encouraging comments. Even the not so supportive ones, I thought a lot of things over, and I just wanted to update you all on all the situation. I wanted to wait for after the holidays to address this with my friends. So first, Maria and I had a heart-to-heart this morning. She admitted that it was a childish move for her to talk about me like that. She said that she went to Jocelyn and confided in her about all her insecurities. For a little background, Maria and Jocelyn are best friends. We all may be friends in the group, but those two are the best of friends. So Maria told me that Jocelyn was the one to suggest everyone dresses up nicer without telling me. She said because she's my cousin, that she knows me well enough to know that I won't be that mad or that I would still show up dressed up. I feel kind of silly for feeling so betrayed when the situation was just over clothes, but at the same time, I'm glad Maria talked to me about it. It opened my eyes a lot to who I consider friends. I also sent a text to the group chat. I let my feelings be known and that their actions really hurt me. Most people were apologetic, but of course Jocelyn was acting like I was the only one being childish. I'm honestly starting to feel like I may just take a step back from the group as a whole. The situation left a bad taste in my mouth, especially for my cousin. They may have been my friends for the last decade, but that wasn't cool at all. I'm going to work on my confidence more. I shouldn't have been so hurt. I could have turned it around and took it as a compliment that they feel I dress so much better. Again, I've worked hard to find my personal style after being so controlled. Thanks again for all your comments and well wishes. I don't think what you did was petty. You showed up at the agreed upon dress code, only to realize everyone else had been secretly planning something different behind your back. That would make anyone feel singled out and embarrassed. And instead of talking to you directly, they chose to make assumptions about you and your intentions based on their own insecurities. Taking your food and leaving wasn't some grand act of revenge. It was a completely understandable reaction to being blindsided by people you trusted. You put time, energy, and care into that meal. Why would you leave it behind as a parting gift for people who didn't even respect you enough to be honest? What would you have done? Thank you for joining us today in the rLounge. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. Until next time.